Today's Star Trek Flick Band video explores the fun and wacky world of FTs and CTs. That's forbidden technology and chaos technology, so you can find out where to get them, what are they worth, are they any good, and all that other fun stuff. Because, well, it's good to have knowledge, and it's hard to find things in games, so we'll try to cover all that for you today. Go ahead and like that video if you haven't already, because it helps out the channel. And when you like the video, Rev makes more content. This video is inspired by a comment from our Discord, so shout out to those people who come to the Discord and use our recommended channels. Let's roll it.
Fancy intro music, yeah! Woohoo!
It wouldn't be Star Trek Fleekaman if there wasn't a spreadsheet to help you find things, because that's what this game has become in a lot of ways, and that's not always a negative. And this is one that I typed up and did myself to try to help you find where all these are. And if you are curious, like what are the PvE, PvP, etc., well, don't worry, we've got all that listed in the sheet. Now, this sheet, of course, will be pinned at the top comment. It will also be in my Discord, so if you want to check it out there, feel free. However, with this, we can find all the different FTs and CTs, starting with forbidden text at the top and rarity of common, moving into the uncommons, rares, and then, of course, down here at the bottom, epics. You'll notice on the right side that we have sourcing locations for all these, and really want you to kind of take a look at that. We'll be updating this as needed, but you will be noticing, hey, I feel like some of these aren't sourced. I feel like some of these are missing. But what I also want to do is kind of go over some of the big ones that a lot of people focus on in the game and talk about why they're valuable and are they any good? Like, will they last a long time? Because at the end of the day, the main thing you're worried about as a player is I need to find something that I can use not only now, but long-term in the future. And to do that real quick, we're going to get out of the spreadsheet and actually take a look at my game. So what do I use the most? Let's talk about FTs first, then we'll talk about CTs. Now, we've talked about this in the past, but one of the easiest, and you get early in the game, is the Metreon Cascade. And you only need to take it to about tier 5, though it can get much higher, and this is sourced by doing your Q trials. But a G3 player can pick this up, and that can help you later in the game as a PvE grinder. You also want to get things like the Ferengi Whip, which helps sourcing of a lot of the other artifacts by giving you trial bells, also giving you rare and epic fragments for your refinery, the actual old school forbidden tech refinery that you can find in your refinery tab, as well as all the other goodies that it gives you in terms of actual bonuses. If you ever see people winning that Mining Monday event, it's probably because their fiche is loaded out with the Ferengi Energy Whip and they're just cycling and cycling. But there are a lot of other good things that have come out. In fact, one of the best things in the game I still don't have unlocked, but is worth mentioning, is the Quantum Slipstream drive that you can now source free to play through the Augment faction, which again, you can see on the spreadsheet here in just a second, but is one of the most powerful items in the game and works in both PvP and PvE situations. Now, on the spreadsheet, I actually listed it as a PvP item, but I want to make something very clear. If you want to get the Quantum Slipstream, you can see right there. Very, very good. Listed as PvP, but these abilities actually work in all settings. It's simply noted as PvP because that's like the best PvP item currently in the game. At the time that we made this video, it's the best PvP FT that exists. So certainly worth targeting, and it has a free-to-play path via the Augment faction that even my low-level account at G3 has started working on, though that's going to take quite some time. A very, very, very long time. But in terms of other things that are valuable, the Agony Booth, which has multiple paths that you can unlock that. And then you have several others in here like Tantalus Field, another very well-known PvP item. You have the Time Crystal Thaleron Radiation Red Matter, all PvP items and free-to-play source. And the Aegis. This is one that you get via Syndicate progression that you get free-to-play as well, which is another PvE item. So there's a lot of these that are getting high sourcing options as well as have high value in the game today. And switching on over to the CTs, this is the Chaos Tech. This is where we have another list of great ones. So for example, the Godsend, a lot of people have been going after in event stores. That's its current sourcing method. Again, this is listed. If we go over to over here, you'll see on the right side, the Godsend has got sourcing via the event store, but this is a really good one that is affecting PvE in terms of boosting people's abilities to participate in that, and has been seen in multiple event stores, hopefully more paths for it to come up, but it is highly sought after. You also have other ones that have been, kind of sought after as well, but Chrono Deflector, another one that has free-to-play sourcing, helps with invading entities. I really wanted to point this one out because I think a lot of people struggle with invading entities at this point in the game, and understandably so. They get harder and harder. Just take a look at the ones that just came out with flashpoints at the time of this video. So lots of people in the Discord have been talking about those a lot. So Chrono Deflector can be obtained free to play, and that's going to help you again just try to get better at specific things. And if we can find a way to do that, then we want to. And sourcing, as you can see right there, so something that is on your list, getting that DTI faction to start working on the Chrono Deflector. And because it's a chaos tech, they're pretty quick to upgrade and max, because if you're doing your continuum refinery, you get a lot of that currency. You also have PvP items in here like Q Cannon, Unimatrix Shielding, Echo Papa, all very popular, very good. Swords Trilithium, which also has free-to-play sourcing. And I'm still working on getting my Temporal Conduit from that Continuum Refinery I was just referencing, but another PvE item. So there are a lot of good ones in here that have free-to-play sourcing, but sadly not everything does. In fact, that is probably one of the drawbacks, is there's still a large number of these that don't have a long-term sourcing path. And again, not just trying to be a hater, but we have commons. There's only 4 commons throughout the entirety of this, and there's only 6 uncommons, but half of those uncommons don't have sourcing, specifically the Chaos Tech ones, at least ones that I noted so far. If I'm missing anything, please do correct me in the comment section down below. We have amazing people who do the spreadsheets like, Jules Verne, Quazel, Blue Mando, Tarpitude, etc. But we also rely heavily on the community help to make sure all this stuff is accurate so you can use it. So to make sure that I can have mine updated, we'll definitely do that. But as you can see, we're missing sourcing on things like the Breen Energy Dampening, but that is specific to the Mantis. And it's odd because don't really feel like that's even needed in today's game anymore, and yet it's still there. So there is some of those. A couple other PvP ones. Again, don't want to get too in the weeds. The spreadsheet listed all out, but I do want to give you some fun facts. Who wants some fun facts about FTs and CTs? I like fun facts. And with that, we have pies and bars. Let's go to the bar and eat some pie. So each type, we have 20 Chaos Techs and 30 Forbidden Techs rolling out here. We've also sorted them by rarity. And as you can see, uncommons and commons are far more rare than rare. Badum-tis. It's sad that that's a badum-tis. Here, I'll actually play the sound. There we go. It's sad that that's how it is, but it is how it is. And you would think Scopely would learn by now that we want more uncommons. I'd actually really like to have more easy to source and available to everybody uncommons that provided more, but here we are today. Count by rarity status. So just overall, you saw the split before, but this is just all of them common, epic, rare in terms of sourcing. And you can see good sourcing overall. I actually got to give them credit for sourcing. It's weird though that there is a higher percentage of uncommons that are hard to source than rares and epics. So like, again, come on, Scopely, like what's going on here? Distribution by use. I thought this was interesting. You see about a quarter of them are PvP, 12% are armadas, 12% are mining, 20, the biggest chunk, 28% being PvE. You have invading entities there. I made a little sliver, and then specialty ship focus, which includes like the Mantis and the Voyager, which I guess I could have done the invading entities, but that's not something that you really sit on a ship. Like there's a specific one that you would load on the Mantis, and that is the Breen Energy Dampener. That doesn't really apply here. The Genesis device you would put on your SS Revenant. So again, that's a specialty ship one. That invading entity one is definitely worth mentioning, especially with the loops that we have coming here in the next few months. And then rarity type, again, just because I like to have it right there in a bar graph, you can see specifically that we are, we don't have enough commons and uncommons. We're leaning really heavy into the epics and rares, and you'll see that also get mirrored when we take a look at officers. But for sourcing, there are a lot of good ones available right now in terms of FTs and CTs, with sourcing being in the refineries themselves. So again, we'll hop in here real quick. We have the Continuum Refinery, which is going to help you source various ones like the Thought Maker, the common, the Loot, which is the rare, a couple of epics. You also come down to the old school Forbidden Tech Refinery. Lots of the original epics still sourced here, including some of these mining lasers for the rares. And then you've even got the Q trials. But then don't forget your factions, which is very easy to get this mixed up, which is why we made this spreadsheet, to make it easier to find. The DTI has certain ones that it pays out that you want to pay attention to. There's the Chrono Deflector right behind me. Then you, of course, have the Augment faction we were talking about with the Tantalus Field and the Quantum Slipstream. So definitely worth going after. And hopefully this gives y'all some of the tools that you need to be successful There's the spreadsheet. Let me know if there's anything we need to add to it. Live long and plunder. Stay safe for the Space Cowboys. Deuces, that's me. Catch you on the next Star Trek Fleet Command video. As always, a shout out to the community that makes this stuff possible and all the ones out here asking for this stuff. So big thank you to y'all. Leave a comment down below if you're curious, if you got questions, need help. That's kind of my job, and I love it. See you on the next one. We're out.
I would like to request to Scopely to add more Klingons to the game. That is what I was told to do, and so I am doing it. Which, you know, is not maybe the best thing as a leader to just do what you're told, but it seems like a good request to make to add more Klingons. Everything is better with Klingons, am I right? I am right, because I'm a Klingon. Klingon mach tach judge! We are Klingons, let it remain. All right, Laurel's on a roll today. She's very excited.